Hello, welcome to today's episode of doing. So if you don't know, I'm Tamara Stone. I'm with eXp Realty, and I am in the process of doing the dreaded buy and sell at the same time. So we have a house in Oregon City we bought in 2022. It's on roughly a third of an acre. It's a split level, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. When we bought it, it met all of our criteria, right? We were living in the city during COVID and needed to get out of the city. So we found this really cool spot in Oregon City, in a really sweet little sweetheart of a neighborhood that has a handful of houses in it, not a terrible HOA, some walking trails, green spaces behind all the houses. And it fit the bill. So here we are in 2025 after having done some major remodeling. A list of those things being the HVAC system, got a heat pump in there, so we've got AC now, because the owners told us that they rarely ever used AC, and then that summer it was so freaking hot that our basement was even 80 degrees. We spent every day at the river. So we decided that was necessary. On top of, in the winter, we were spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month because of a super inefficient old 1973, 74 furnace that just was not efficient at all. We got a propane tank, and we have a fireplace in the basement on this side and a fireplace on the main floor on this side. And so the basement one we converted into a propane fireplace, and the wood burning one that we kept upstairs. We remodeled a bathroom. We remodeled what was the living room, dining room, and kitchen that was all walled off, total 70s style, and opened it up, made it a great room. Did some hardscaping, did some landscaping, painted interior, exterior, roof, like a ridiculous amount of stuff. We've spent a lot of money, and if anybody knows the market out here, we're probably not going to get our money back. But the reason why we moved here, in part of getting out of the city, was we wanted to create a really safe, stable, and amazing environment for our 13-year-old. She started going to Oregon City Oregon City Middle School. And then some life circumstances with her mom changed, and her mom moved to Southwest Portland, and we were splitting 50-50. So she spent the first year doing a lot of driving, taking our daughter to and from her house when she was staying there. So we discovered, I don't know if you know this, but if you have divorced parents and you're splitting custody 50-50, you can petition to have your kid moved to a school that's more kind of centralized between the parents, as long as the home school that your kid is in is willing to release them, and then the other school you're trying to get them in will accept them. So we were lucky enough to get her accepted into the Lake Oswego School District. So she goes to Lake Oswego Junior High and is moving on to the high school next year. Well, these past 2 years, we have done a lot of driving also. And this past year, she was in all of these sports and all of these activities. And it's a minimum 35-minute drive to get to where she's at in Lake Oswego. So if we drive 35 minutes to drop her off and then come home to work from home, that's minimum over an hour round trip. Doing that twice a day, plus sometimes a third and a fourth time to take her to her events out there. So we're like, we can't do this anymore. We're spending so much time in the car. It's time for us to make a move. So as much as we don't have the equity in the house that we should, we are risking it all to move to a place that will accommodate our lifestyle. Our lifestyle made us move here, and now our lifestyle is making us move out of here. And this is what I tell people all the time. When your house isn't working for you, a move is necessary. And when you are looking for a house, your lifestyle is imperative to what you're trying to accomplish in your move. So maybe it's not necessarily the house itself, because you're never going to find the perfect house, even if you build it yourself. There are lots of people who, after they build it, go, oh, I wish I would have done this, and that differently. So I tell clients all the time, if you get 85, 90% of what it is you're looking for, that's the perfect house for you. So go ahead and make an offer. So here we are in the middle of all of this. We got our pre-approval. No, that's always the first thing you want to do is, well, check with me and find out how much we think that the house could potentially list for. So you can take that information to the lender to see what you would net out of that sale, and then giving them all of your information to qualify you. So in some instances, depending on how long you've been in the house and how much equity is in there, you might qualify, plus all of the other things, right? Income and credit score, debt to income ratio. You might be able to qualify for what's considered a bridge loan, where you can actually buy a house first, which in my opinion is highly recommended. If you can do that, that's the way to go, because houses are always going to sell for more if they're vacant and staged. Just 100%. So if you can get into a house, purchase a house, get completely out of your house, and then dial it in, have it staged, photographed, and marketed to perfection the way that I can do it, you're going to get more money out of the net of the sale of your house to be able to then put it into the house that you purchased, or get rid of your debt, or do whatever you want to do in order to get yourself in a really great situation. So here we are. We have already started looking at houses, because this is just how we roll. This is what happened last time when we did this. We weren't ready to go to market, but when we found this house, I busted my ass to get our other house ready to put on the market. Luckily for us, we keep a really clean house. We're really dedicated to maintaining a house really well. And that house was fairly large, and we hadn't filled it with stuff. And so there was like the perfect amount of stuff in there to kind of just clean it, box up a few things, and then have the photographer come and the videographer and come and do the thing, and then put it on the market. It was also kind of the tail end of COVID. It did sell, I think, within like 7 days, something like that. I think maybe it took 2 weekends. Now it's a different story, right? But anyway, the way that we like to do it is that you find the house and then you just hurry up and get your house done. But we're in a position where we can do that fairly quickly. I'm a real estate agent, so I have all of the tools and all of the resources, right? I can be home here and have all of the people come to do all of the things, contractors, lawn care, painters, all of that stuff. So when you do the thing where you buy first, then your house is vacant and you don't have to work around, those contractors and things don't need to work around you or your schedule, because I'm there to facilitate it all, right? So it can make that process go that much faster. As long as you pack up and move out. You just got to pack up and move out, like first thing. So, and it can be organized. So we're in the process of kind of figuring out what kind of house it is we're looking for. We have a long list of wants. And you have to determine the difference between what are needs and what are wants. We need to be closer to our daughter's school. 100%. We need for the house to have 3 bedrooms and 2 baths minimum, right? We are now deciding, we have a boat and we have an RV. More than likely in the areas that we're moving to, we are not going to have room for both. So what do? Do we store one and sell one, or, all of those sorts of things? So we would love it if there was a space for at least one of them. If not, fine. It's a want, it's not a need. So there are all of those things that we are determining. Then we're quite picky. Everybody has their draw the line sort of situation. And, no shade to people, but we typically don't like the 90s style of house, where on the main floor you have 2 living rooms and 2 dining rooms, one formal, one informal, with the flippity floppity floor plans in the neighborhood, super quick build that potentially is the corners have been cut and things were cheaply done. but we do like turnkey. So we're having this kind of crisis right now where we have so many options to choose from that it's really difficult to make a decision. So we've seen a lot of houses. We've seen some that needed a lot of work, a whole lot of work. And we're in our price range, but then it's like, okay, how long are you going to be there? And please believe me when I say there is no forever house. Life circumstances can change at the drop of a hat. So I would recommend to anybody to have it in the back of your head that this is probably not going to be your last house. Maybe it is. Maybe you find that unicorn and you get in, but the likelihood of that happening is very, very small. If that's what you're looking for, you and your realtor are going to be looking at a lot of houses for a really long time and never pulling the trigger. So, or maybe never pulling the trigger. So we're thinking about this in terms of she's a freshman next year. We'll probably spend 5 years in this house. How much will it appreciate over that time? How quickly is this one selling versus when we potentially put it back on the market? Because if something takes a long time to sell, it's going to take a long time to sell probably the next time around. That's just the way that it is. If it has a funky layout, definitely going to take a long time. If it doesn't have a full bedroom, full bathroom on the main floor, it's probably going to take a long time. That's the huge thing right now. Either 2 primaries or a bedroom with a full bath on the main floor. There are just so many instances where we have multi-generational living. Or people are thinking, I want to be able to age in place in this house, and the only way for me to do it is if I have a shower on the main floor and I don't have to go up the stairs at some point or go down the stairs at some point. However, what's really interesting is a lot of times nowadays, the laundry is on the floor that has all of the bedrooms. So you may still end up having to take the stairs if that's the case. So here we are looking at a lot of houses. We've dialed in our price point, but there are a lot of options because we can range from like the low end of the price range to the high end of the price range. And we're looking in West Lynn and Lake Oswego, but it's just a difficult process. So I totally understand where people are coming from, my clients included, who have a house already, who are already in a house that's kind of working for them. Maybe it's not super terrible and it's more of a like, I'd like to move, but I don't have to move. That makes it really difficult for us as realtors. We don't have to move, obviously. We could stay here and just for the next couple years until she gets a car, do all of this driving. But we would really love to afford her the opportunity to just come home for lunch or, you know, be like, hey, I'm bringing friends over after school, and it not be a big deal, that we don't have to, because nobody wants to drive out to Oregon City from Lake Oswego. No parent is like, sure, I'll drive 30 minutes to drop my kid off at your house and then come pick them back up in a couple hours. So that's up to us. So I feel for you, and I hope that you enjoy this series on preparation for selling a house and buying all at the same time. It's difficult, it's fun, it's a challenge, but I know the process and I can help you through it if that's something that you're going through too. If you want to like and subscribe or follow this series, you are more than welcome to, and I would love it. Please put your comments in if you are struggling right now and what it is that you're struggling with in this home buying process of the buying and selling at the same time. I'd love to chat with you about it. Okay, talk to you soon.